just thought we'd talk you through the construction process for the first building that we're going to be doing at Tejakula. We're actually in Ubud at the moment, so sitting in our office. So these footings here are steel and concrete engineered footing that I've designed. Got a steel cage inside them with 4 bolts that come up through the bottom of the steel cage and onto the steel cage, onto the bolts. They're adjustable for height so we can get our levels correct across the length of these. These will be spaced about 2.4 meters apart, and then there'll be some brackets which will sit on there, which are these components here. The brackets will then carry the 100 by 100 mil beams that will run through. They're 100 by 100 galvanized steel beam, 1.5 mil thick, so they're super strong. They'll be bolted through in these locations in here, and then once they're in place, we'll be able to set these up fairly square as it is and level, but then we'll also be able to adjust them on the threads for the beams to get them 100%. We learn a little bit in the process of doing our place here in Ubud, and this is our design. So the beams go on, they'll be bolted through, leveled up, bolted through, and then from there the floor panels will go on. The floor panels are made out of a 100 mil by 50 mil hollow steel section tube, galvanized as well, as with all the steel components that we use on these. It's all galvanized, and then once they're manufactured they get 2 coats of zinc chromate primer and then 2 coats of colour. These ones will be matte black. The beams on the floor here will be matte black, and the rest of it will be just in a grey colour, and we're going to actually paint most of it as well, so in a Dulux colour. On top of the floor beams, once the floor panels, once they're fixed in place, will be the calci board, which is the same product that we've used previously. It's an excellent product to work with. It's dimensionally stable. It works extremely well. So that gets screwed down onto the floor panels. Then from there we'll put our posts in place, our 100 mil by 100 mil posts. That will be the wall posts. They'll go in place. There's a bracket as well that we screw down through the calci board and into the steel floor panel for these posts to sit on. To tie these together, we've got some beams, 100 mil by 100 mil beams as well, which are these 2 here. They'll go across the back. This is the back of the garage area. This is the front. Headers will go on, which are these components around here. The wall panels will then go in place. They're made out of a 80, same as the header boards. They're made out of an 80 mil by 40 mil steel section, hollow steel section as well, again galvanized and painted. And then on top of that will be our roof panels. Once they're in place, they'll be all screwed into place, and then the roof sheeting will go on top of that. I haven't drawn that yet, all the outsides. I do actually have an aesthetic design for the place, which we can flip across to in a minute. And that's the overall design. Once I've drawn all the components are then put here into a collection that I then work off. That's the little bracket for the beams that I was mentioning there a minute ago that go through the floor. So that's all the components that we use to put the jigsaw puzzle together. And this one here, so this one has no structural detail on it. This one is just more of an aesthetic drawing. So the outside of the property on these 3 faces is calci plank, which is a product that we've used on our build here in Patulu, and it works. It's a great product to work with. It's nice and light. Again, mechanically and dimensionally stable as well, which is great. Some GRC just flat sheeting on the back of the place, and then we've got our polycarbonate, steel framed polycarbonate. We're calling them wing doors. We're not sure exactly what to call them. That they hinge up, and they've got a gas strut that holds them in place. So that's where it's at, and we've obviously got an outdoor shower on here as well. So that's what we'll be building.